আমার সোনার বাংলা আমি তোমায় ভালোবাসি
Bangladesh is a very remarkable South Asian country filled with many waterways and lush greenery. Its landscape is dotted with fertile lands, and officially it's known as the People's Republic of Bangladesh. This country's capital city is Dhaka, and the major language spoken is Bengali or Bangla. And there are so many different eye-opening facts about Bangladesh, some of which are positive and some of which are rather unfortunate. Hey guys, welcome back to another episode here on FTD Facts. For this one, we're going to be diving into 10 eye-opening facts about Bangladesh. So let's get started for this one. We got a whole lot to cover. Starting with fact number 10, this has to do with the existence of Bangladesh. Right? So Bangladesh is a country that did not exist before 1971. I know, right? Many people think that Bangladesh has just always been a country. But over the centuries, the region of Bengal was ruled by a list of Indian, Turkic, as well as Mughal dynasties, as well as, of course, the British. Following the Battle of Plassey in 1757, the British East India Company officially gained control of the region of Bengal from the then ruling Mughals, which began 200 years of British rule. Next up at fact number 9, let's talk about the independence over language. So there's a whole lot to unpack here, so let me do my best. So tensions rose between West and East Pakistan, now known as Bangladesh, in the years following the division of the Indian subcontinent on various fronts, including political division, cultural differences, views on religion, and of course, language. So back in the year 1948, Muhammad Ali Jinnah, he declared that Urdu alone should be the national language of Pakistan. And this was strongly opposed by the population of East Pakistan. Now, when West Pakistan imposed martial law, resentment towards West Pakistan continued to fester until March 7th of 1971, when Sheikh Mujibur Rahman urged every single household in East Pakistan to remain a fort of resistance. Those are his words. Now, later on, with the assistance of India, the East Pakistani liberation fighters finally defeated West Pakistan in a war in December. West Pakistan then signed an instrument of surrender on the 16th of December 1971, and Bangladesh was born. In the number 8 spot, let's take a look at the history of Bangla. Although the precise origin of the word Bangla or Bengal is unknown, it is often attributed to the ancient kingdom of Vanga, which was first mentioned in the Aryanka layers and the Badayana Sutras of the Vedic text. They say the Vangas was a tribe of people living in the regions beyond the borders of the Aryan civilization in current-day central and eastern Bengal, Bangladesh, with intimate political ties to aristocracy of the ancient kingdom of Ayodhya, now which is a city in current-day India. For fact number 7, let's look at the MUSLIN origins with an N, not Muslim with an M. MUSLIN is a popular lightweight cotton fabric that was first handwoven in the Bengal region around current-day Dhaka. Now, the name MUSLIN is thought to have come from the city of MOSUL in current-day Iraq, where Western traders procured the material. Now, MUSLIN was highly valued throughout history, with records indicating that the fabric was used to wrap mummies in ancient Egyptian civilization. So yeah, it goes way back. And it was also worn by high-ranking women in Imperial Rome. It was also highly sought after by the British East India Company, with Dhakai muslin, named after Dhaka of course, one of the finest variants of muslins. For fact number 6, let's talk a little bit about the garment industry. Many big-name clothing brands from around the world now source their products from Bangladesh, where an estimated 4,000 garment factories are currently in operation. While the industry has boosted Bangladesh's economy and has really helped the empowerment of women in the country, who actually make up 80% of factory workers, much controversy does surround its practices as well as the safety standards. Buildings in Bangladesh are not often subjected to government inspections, and safety violations are often overlooked by officials through bribes as well as threats. And that actually leads us to the next fact. Fact number 5, the corruption in Bangladesh. Corruption is present in all public sector departments in Bangladesh, and it often takes the form of bribery, embezzlement, and excessive lobbying. Lack of government transparency facilitates corruption in the public sector, with non-compliance with regulations regularly overlooked. Corruption also does exist between the private sectors and the public sector, with large government contracts often the subject of corruption. So yeah, this definitely is one of those unfortunate facts about Bangladesh. Another very eye-opening fact is about the biggest central bank heist. So when we look back to February of 2016, the Bangladesh Central Bank was the target of one of the biggest bank heists in recent history. There was an attempt that was made by hackers to steal roughly $1 billion US in 35 smaller transactions through the SWIFT network, going through the Federal Reserve Bank of New York. Out of the 35 transactions, 5 of those were approved, valuing at $101 million US. And the remaining 30 transactions, well, luckily those were flagged for staff review at the Federal Reserve Bank of New York. And those transactions were worth $850 million. And the flagged transactions was later blocked at the request of the Bangladesh Central Bank. Luckily, somebody was paying attention and doing their job, or else a lot of money could have been lost. Of the $101 million US stolen, $20 million was traced to Sri Lanka and recovered, so that's good. And $81 million was traced to the Philippines, of which only about $18 million has been recovered to date. Another unfortunate fact about Bangladesh has to do with poverty. Bangladesh is still considered one of the poorest countries in the world, with 31.5% of its population still living below the poverty line. And they say that the population of people living below the poverty line is double the entire population of the country of Australia. Fact number 2 is a pretty exciting one. Bangladesh has the largest river delta. The Bengal Delta, located on the coastlines of Bangladesh, is the largest river delta in the entire world. It is fed by 2 large Himalayan rivers, the Ganges and the Brahmaputra, and a non-Himalayan river, the Meghna, which in turn is fed by 2 other larger rivers, the Padma and the Jamuna. The delta covers 105,000 square kilometers, with roughly 2/3 of it falling within Bangladesh. The delta is also home to the world's most extensive mangroves, the Sundarbans, which is a UNESCO World Heritage Site. The fact that we're going to conclude this episode on has to do with climate change. Unfortunately, the largest river delta, which is in Bangladesh, also makes Bangladesh one of the most climate vulnerable countries in the world. The effects of climate change have already begun impacting the livelihoods of the population living in the delta, as well as other parts of Bangladesh. Floods and flash floods are common in Bangladesh, with 80% of the country prone to flooding, particularly during the annual monsoon season. Cyclones and storm surges have also caused widespread devastation in recent years, which of course is very unfortunate. But these are just some of the issues that Bangladesh has to deal with as a country. Outside of that, it is very beautiful and there's a lot of opportunity, and the culture there is just so rich. With that said, guys, this concludes our episode. This was a look at 10 eye-opening facts about Bangladesh. I'm curious to know what you thought about this episode. Sound off below in the comment section. If you enjoyed it, you found it informative, useful, entertaining in any way, don't forget to leave a big thumbs up. And as always, it's always awesome hanging out with you. I'll see you in the next episode.